All right, everybody, the time is 10 a.m. Well, 8 a.m. for me, but 10 a.m. Eastern time. So we'll go ahead and get started. So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first annual Space Symposium Day. So, I'll be hosting the event. I'm Sahil. I am the head of projects for SEDS. Co-hosting with me is Rupal. She is the president of SEDS. And to really understand the purpose of Space Symposium Day, we have to go back to its origin story. So, assuming the conference had been held in person like was originally planned, it most likely would have been held in the University of Michigan Aerospace Building, which can be seen in the bottom left. And I was going to point out that, the actual idea for Space Symposium Day came about 20 feet to the left on the balcony of the second floor, where a bunch of SEDS members for the University of Michigan chapter were discussing some of the cool things that they realized were happening at the University of Michigan, specifically for space exploration, that they never realized was actually happening in the first place. Like, a lot of us knew that the University of Michigan had a history of contributing to space exploration, whether it be for the Gemini and Apollo missions, like you can see in the bottom right picture, the Apollo 15 crew, which was famously an entirely Michigan-based crew. And we realized, there's still so much work being done in space exploration right under our noses. Imagine how much work is being done around the world that we just don't know about. The community isn't aware about it. And we all started to think, how can we combat this problem? And all of us at once came up with the idea, what if we held a space conference that was centered around this topic about bringing to light to the community some of the work that's being done in space exploration. And with that, Space Symposium Day itself was born. And it was centered around this idea of showcasing the work being done in space exploration across all fields and areas, while also providing an opportunity for people who share this passion of space exploration to just network with each other. And here we have Space Symposium Day. So today we're going to be hearing from all of these speakers, and I wanted to thank all of the speakers who have agreed to share with us some of their insights and the work that they're doing in space exploration. Definitely really appreciate that. And this brings us to the theme of the Space Symposium Day, making strides in space exploration. And what does that really mean? Well, to understand that, we have to look back at the past. Almost 60, a little bit over 60 years ago, we had the launch of the first satellite, Sputnik. And then shortly after, we had Yuri Gagarin make his first orbit in space, becoming the first man in space. Then we had the Apollo 11 missions by the end of the decade, landing people on the moon. And then Voyager 1 and 2 set milestones for unmanned spacecraft. They're still setting milestones. They're still transmitting data back to this day, more than 40 years later. And then we had the space shuttles, and then the ISS was launched and established a human presence in space. And then recently we've had the Artemis mission announced, which is designed to send people back to the moon. But after Artemis, what's next? What does the future hold when it comes to space exploration? And the answer is, we don't know quite yet. This isn't defined yet. This is actually up to us. Every single organization that's speaking here is making strides in space exploration. And each of those strides is going to help us define what comes next in our future, what it is that we do as a civilization as we look to the stars and continue to explore space. And everybody here, not just the speakers, everyone here, including the attendees, will also play a role in determining what the future holds for us. So before we go ahead a little bit more, I just wanted to cover some of the logistics. So you can see the schedule of events here, along with when there'll be some fun breaks, to grab food. You can get this information at our website, sedsum.org. Additionally, on our website, we have a link to our companion app. Our companion app has a lot of information about all of the talks and the speakers. We also have a Slack workspace that you can join. This provides a space that you can ask questions about any of the talks while also discussing some of the presentations and networking with everybody else at the conference. Additionally, after each talk, there will be a dedicated amount of time for questions and answers. During this time, you can raise your hand through Zoom. This is found in the participants section. It's a little bit hard to find. I personally struggled a lot to find it. But when you raise your hand, we'll be able to notice and unmute you so that you can actually ask your question to the presenter. You can also submit any questions through the Zoom group chat, and then we can read those off to the presenter. Additionally, after that reserved Q&A time has expired, the presenters will all go to the breakout room, and you will also have an ability to join the breakout room after each talk and converse with the presenter, ask any follow-up questions you have, or simply just network. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Rupal to talk about SEDS at UM.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Rupal, the current president of SEDS, which stands for the Students for the Exploration and Development of Space. So SEDS itself is an international organization, and SEDS at UM is our local University of Michigan's chapter of SEDS. And within our chapter, we do different things such as outreach events, we have technical projects, we host social events, and we also provide professional development opportunities for our members. So our mission in SEDS is to empower people to make an impact in space exploration. And how we do that is by providing opportunities to develop technical, professional, and leadership skills. So more specifically, what we aim to do is we hope to bring innovative solutions through our technical projects. We also aim to empower our current members by providing opportunities to develop their technical skills, their leadership skills, and their professional development skills, and hope that equips them to make an impact in space exploration. We also hope to inspire everyone around us through our outreach events and introduce the next generation to the wonders of space exploration. And we also engage our current members in what we do every day and hope to create a sense of community through our social events. So moving forward to our technical projects. So these three teams have been more well established throughout the past few years, and they will be speaking later on in the conference, so I won't spend too much time on what they actually do. But as a brief introduction, up first we have the BLUE program, which stands for Biannual Launches for Undergraduate Education. And what they do is they build scientific payloads to be launched into suborbital flight. We also have CLAWS, which is the Collaborative Lab for Advancing Work in Space, and they work on innovative software solutions for human space exploration. And then last up here, we have BLISS, which is the Bioastronautics and Life Support Systems team, and they work on various projects that are aimed at sustaining a human presence in space. So the other technical projects we have, first up is a 3D printed rover that is actually based off of a do-it-yourself model that JPL has made available to the public. What their model looks like is that top image, and we are actually going to 3D print this because it lowers the cost and it also provides a valuable learning experience to our members that are working on it. We also have drone projects. So the one that's pictured here is an Apollo landing drone. And as you can see in the top few images, there is a 3D printed model of the lunar landing module. And that sits on top of the drone, and that can be landed either at like social events or outreach events. We also have a group within SEDS that's really passionate about astrophotography. So some of the images that are on here have been taken by our members. We also have our very own telescope, which is really exciting and fun to use at our social events. We also, this is just a fun little hands-on project that we recently proposed. It's the t-shirt launch system. It's basically just a t-shirt shooter that's supposed to look like NASA's SLS, which is the Space Launch System. And over the past semester, we've had really fun just getting all these parts together and having a good time building that. And we also have a group that is working on designing a Mars city-state. So this is actually a challenge that is sponsored by the Mars Society and also SpaceX. And the goal of the challenge is to design a sustainable city on Mars that can sustain over a population of over 1 million people. So moving on to our professional development opportunities. So one thing that we do is bring speakers and panels on campus, and the ones that are pictured here are the Three Amigos, which is an annual panel talk that we have, which was unfortunately canceled this year. But it's Steve Patel and two of his colleagues that have a really engaging and exciting discussion about space exploration. We also host resume workshops, and pictured here is Michael from AGI, who you will be hearing from later. And kind of going along with with AGI, we also provide STK trainings to our members. STK is a software that is widely used in the industry, so it's a really important skill that our members can develop at these training sessions. And lastly, one of the most exciting things we do is travel to conferences. So the ones that are pictured here is the annual Space Vision Conference, which last year was at Arizona State University. And it's a great opportunity for our members to network with people all around the world in the space industry. Moving on to our social events, this is how we hope to create a sense of community within our organization that includes having dinners a couple of times a semester. We also host Yuri's Night, which is the anniversary of the first man in space, Yuri Gagarin. And that's also an opportunity for us to interface with the larger public community and introduce them to what it is we do and the wonders of space exploration. And we also have more internal, smaller events such as space movie nights and trivia nights. So moving on to outreach, we've had a number of different activities we've organized, but in the past few years, two have been really prominent. So I'll just briefly introduce those. We have a Lego EVA activity in which students build a Lego set with various things such as gardening gloves or a mock space helmet, or even having their instructions be read out to them. And the purpose of these impediments is to kind of simulate the difficulties and hardships that astronauts on the ISS, for example, have to go through during their EVAs. We also have a Mars River activity, which is a remote controlled river that has a camera on it. And the students are to drive this rover around a mock Martian terrain using only the output from the camera feed. And there's also a built-in time delay, which is supposed to simulate the difficulties in communicating with bodies that are far away, such as Mars. And we bring these activities to different K through 12 schools, either local schools that our members have been to before, or further out, such as we've also been to Detroit Public Schools before. Sometimes we also bring local schools to our campus, which is a really exciting opportunity for these students to kind of see what it is we do in person, our lab spaces, and also just have a discussion of what it is like to be a student at the University of Michigan. Looking forward, we hope to continue to inspire and empower not only our members, but everyone around us to make their impact in space exploration. So this includes further developing the work we've been doing with our projects and also expanding on our professional development opportunities and our social and outreach events. And with all of this, we hope to push the boundaries of space exploration in diverse and innovative ways. So that wraps up the introduction of SEDS at UM and also the opening to this conference. Huge thank you to all of our organizers that have spent hours and weeks and months on putting this together. Also to our speakers that have dealt with the various changes between the pandemic and everything and transitioning to this format. And of course, all of our attendees, everyone that is on the call right now, thank you for being here. Without each and every one of you, this would not have been possible. So if you have any questions for us, we can take them now, but you can also type them into the chat box. You can message us on Slack. You can also privately message us on the Zoom. So, and you can email us later on too at seds-council@umich.edu. And if you want to see more information about what we do at SEDS at UM, there's our website. There's also a subpage dedicated to just the conference that has a lot of helpful links on there. So yeah, thank you for listening.